Okay, and this is another vector problem. And in this example, our given is that we have three vectors. And so these three vectors look like this. So given. So I'll do our picture in just a second. And it also tells us one more thing. It tells us that vector A plus vector B plus vector C is equal to 1. That means a vector of magnitude 1 in the j hat direction. So if I draw that, then I have, this is going to be, let's do this in a different color. So we'll say this is one of the vectors, and this vector is A. It has a value of 4. It's magnitude, right? And we'll have C. C is another vector, and it has magnitude 2. And then we have B. And we don't know what the value is. And so what we do, we have to find, let's go back to black. So find vector B. And we need to do this in component form. And as magnitude and direction. So if we look at our picture and our equation, so if we just think about our equation and we add up these vectors, A, B, and C, we know that we should have our net vector as just 1 in the j direction. So what that means is we should just have our net is just going to look like this. It has a value of 1, and j just means it's in the y direction. Right, so this is the y axis and this is the x-axis. Okay, so what that tells us then is we know all of the x components cancel. And so I have an x component with A and I have an x component with B. And so what I know is that my x component for A must be the same as my x component for B. So right away I can say, okay, Bx is equal to -4, right? And that makes sense because I have, if I draw my Bx, right, I should go out to about here. So this is going to be my By, and this is going to be my Bx, right? So this length has to match this length, and I know that it points this way because my B points in the negative x direction. But what about By? So what I know is that my when I add them up, when I say By plus C, because C is the only vector, the only other vector that has a y component, I know that By plus C, so By plus C has to equal 1. Well, if C is a -2, then By must equal +3. So By must equal 3, right? And that makes sense because By needs to cancel the 2 in the negative direction, right? So that would give me 2. And then it needs to be 1 more in the y to give me the resultant y. So that has to be equal to 3. All right, so, and that makes sense, right? So sorry, this is a y. And y here, By, is in the positive direction because this is pointing up. So these two components make up this B vector. So that gives me my Bx is -4 and my By is 3. So I've found the component form, but what about the magnitude? Well, to find the magnitude of B, right, I just need to use the formula Bx squared plus By squared, and then take the square root of that. Well, thinking about B, right, if I just draw B, like this, and I know that, this is B. If my By is 3 and my Bx is 4, this looks like a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. So I'm going to say that B the magnitude of b is equal to 5. But we can check that. So if we plug this in, we're going to have bx squared. Well, bx squared is negative 4. Bx is negative 4. So that means bx squared is going to be 4 squared. Negative 4 squared, or the same as 4 squared. So that's going to be 16. And then by is 3. So by squared is going to equal 9. And so that's equal to the square root of 25. And so b, magnitude of b is equal to 5. So that matches. Well, what about the angle? Well, looking at this, what we really want to know, because standard format, we always measure angles from the x-axis. So this is the angle we want to know, but this is the angle that's easy to find out. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for this angle right here, and then we're going to subtract that from 180 to get it relative to the x-axis. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at this triangle and we want to know this angle, we can use tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So if tangent is equal to, tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, and so that's going to be equal to by over bx. And so that's just going to be equal to 3 over 4. And so when we plug that into my calculator, I say tan inverse of 3 over 4 will give me my theta. And so theta then is equal to 36.9 degrees. So when I write this out, right, so for A, my answer is bx is equal to negative 4, and by is equal to 3, and b is equal to 5, and theta is equal to, so we found this angle over here, but we need to subtract, right? So the angle, let's call this theta prime, and we want to find 180 minus theta prime is going to equal 180 minus 36.9 is 143.1. So this angle is 143.1 degrees. And so that represents this angle right here. And so that's our answer.